Hello everyone and welcome back to Crosshatch Puzzles. We're here on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025 for another New York Times Daily Crossword Solve. Today's construction is by Patrick Hayden, I believe a debut construction for the New York Times, so congratulations to Patrick. And we'll be expecting a, early week, relatively light theme and hopefully some not so challenging but still entertaining fill. So let's see what Patrick Hayden has in store for us on his debut, Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Let's get solving. Skill needed for bocce. Aim, I guess? Bocce is lawn bowling, right? I guess it takes some precision. I mean, hand-eye coordination. There are other things for sure, but with 3 letters, I think aim is what they're after. World's most commonly cultivated coffee species, I believe, is Arabica beans. Genre for Jimmy Eat World. Any genre question is most likely going to be emo, so I'm going to go ahead and guess that. Jimmy Eat World, vaguely familiar, but more of a crossword experience guess than a Jimmy Eat World experience guess. Anyway, commercial lead into caps or balls. I'm not sure what products they're referring to there. Like the number I. I is an imaginary number, but I wonder if there's another name for that. I'm not sure what they're looking for. Mop top is the hairstyle associated with the Beatles, so there's that. A folk rock pair featured in the documentary Wordplay. Folk rock pair. I don't know. Is Wordplay a documentary about crosswords? I don't know, actually. George Washington Bill. What bill is he on? The 1, I think? Let's check some downs and see what we can get here. Laughing head or a thumbs up are both examples of emoji. French impressionist Claude is Claude Monet. Some newspaper pieces that aren't news are op-eds. Spun platters for a party informally. Spun platters is another word for DJ'd. Another phrase, I should say. Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello are both examples of duos, comedy duos, in that case. Greeting from Kermit the 47 across. Kermit the Frog, presumably. What did he say? Hi-ho, I think, or something like that. What does he say? Something like that. Anyway, this is going to be frog. I'm scared. You could shiver, maybe. The clue being in brackets means you're not looking for a well, you're probably looking for an action or a vocalization. I think shiver is what we're after. Yeah, Bert's roommate in Sesame Street is Ernie. So a couple of Muppet themes in there. Quarterback Manning is Eli Manning of, I believe, the Green Bay Packers. Not a football fan, but Eli Manning, quite legendary. Syllable doubled after fiddle. Fiddle-dee-dee, I think, is how it goes. It can be blonde or brown hair, but also an ale can be a blonde ale or a brown ale. Throws in the towel, meaning surrenders. It could be hangs it up is another way of saying, I don't know what hangs it up. Is that skates or, anyway, it's a sort of a reference to sports equipment if you hang up whatever, your cleats or whatever. You're sort of calling it a career in the sense. I think that's what they're after there. We'll see. Where we're going, we don't need blank. Back to the Future quote. Oh, what is this? Where we're going, we don't need... I should know this, but I don't. Inquires is asks. Roads? Is it roads? What you eat. What you eat is a dish, maybe? That looks weird. What you eat. Ashton Kutcher's role on That 70s Show. What was his name? I don't remember. Oh, Kelso. Oh, what you eat is your diet. There we go. So I think it is roads. What a hot iron may give off is steam, and that makes the dream team is Team USA, and Palm Wonderful is a fruit juice brand. I think pomegranate juice. Epéist, for example. Épée is a type of fencing sword, so an épéist is a fencer. This looks weird with the V at the end, but maybe not. 1950s entertainment innovation, or a hint of the first and second halves of the theme clues. Maybe something TV? Garb that's typically plaid. A kilt is typically plaid. Half of a standard deck of cards. Black suits. I never would have gotten that if I hadn't had half the clue already, but that's pretty interesting. Half of a standard deck of cards are black suits as opposed to the red suits, the other half. A slog, say, or to slog, say, could be a chore, maybe. Like slavery per the 13th Amendment is abolished. What about some of these downs? Brokeback Mountain director is Ang Lee. Roving floor cleaner is a Roomba. How do you spell that? Like this? Perfectly behaved child, an angel you could call them. Water filter brand is Brita. Suffix with front or cash. Front or cash? Fronting? Caching? Doesn't look right. Oh, like the number I is non-real. It is an imaginary number. It's a non-real number. And it's not really a term that we used, but fine. Name seen in cursive on a cap in Berkeley. Berkeley, California? Cal? C-A-L? I don't know what they want there. Name. Singers, Green and Jardine. Those are both owls. Oh. Front. What? I don't know what's going on there. The Indigo Girls, folk rock pair, featured in the documentary Wordplay. Must be Indigo Girls. Frontier or Cashier. I see. Okay, fine. Cal. It was Cal after all. Okay. About these downs, the half with the hit song. Typically, the A side has the hit song. Word with city or piece, inner city or inner piece. Commercial lead-in. Oh, it is snow. You know, I had thought about snow. Snow caps, snowballs. I don't really know what either of those things are. Snow caps, I think, are a confection of some sort, a food or a drink, sweet. Snowballs, maybe also something sweet. I'm not really sure, but I do remember hearing about both of those. Repellent ingredient is DEET, insect repellent. Isn't perfect. Heirs. To err is human. Empathetic response to an apology. It's okay, you could say, to someone who's apologizing to you. Part of NB, the phrase is nota bene, or note bien, but in the original Latin, nota bene. Note well, literally. To update is to modernize, I guess. Is this an S or a... I think it's an S, because I think a wood cutting tool is an adze, like that. Possessed, if you possessed something, you had it. A 17-syllable poem is a haiku. Common beverage suffix is an aid, like a lemonade or limeade. City situated between the split halves of Saguaro National Park. Not sure. Tucson, Arizona, maybe? Shadow government, according to conspiracy theories, the deep state. ChatGPT for one, a bot. Rental car option, is this the brand? Alamo is a brand of rental cars. This looks like chore after all. Color TV, oh, I see. Hint to the first and second halves. Okay, color TV, got it, okay. However, in a text, you could say, on the other hand, O-T-O-H, on the other hand. However, you could be presenting another opinion. 2010 best-selling Emma Donoghue novel is Room, of which a film was also made, starring Brie Larson. Prep school, I think is what they're after here. Blank school, prep school, probably with the PR at the beginning. Place for plants to flourish. A greenhouse. One of Jolly Rancher's original flavors. Grape, maybe? Blank shaker. 1992 Rex and Effect hit. I really have no idea what they're talking about there. Eponym of a popular puzzle. Popular puzzle. Eponym. Oh, is this Rubik's Cube? Like that? To squeeze by is to eke by. I think Rubik is an actual designer, a game designer. I think. Anyway, the person after whom the Rubik's Cube is named. As easy as pie, you could say. And or as easy as ABC. Those are nice twinned clues right on top of each other. Rump shaker, I guess, because this is going to be the host is going to be an MC. Fine. Diarist Anais is Anais Nin. Up to. Until, you could say up to a certain point, until a certain point. A metaphor for a bad goalie. A sieve, you could call a bad goalie a sieve, lets everything in, it lets everything through. People who overuse caps lock, so to speak, you could call them yellers. People who yell using their caps lock. Highlights of the Super Bowl for some are the ads. Experienced again could be relived. Like some Huber could be dry or rye. I think rye here. Start of a bray, hee-haw, a donkey could bray, so the start would be he, and ailing could be ill, meaning the fast food chain with the slogan, the crave is a powerful thing, is White Castle. Let's see. Yeah, so didn't quite get it in under 11 minutes, but not too bad for a Tuesday. Apparently I've done 12 Tuesdays in a row, good for me. Let's take a look at the theme. We have color TV, and so what's happening here is that each a theme entry has two halves. The first half is a color and the second half is a TV show. So here the folk rock pair featured in the documentary Wordplay. I'll have to look this up because maybe the Indigo Girls are crossword diehards, who knows. But the first half, Indigo, a color. The second half, Girls, which is a TV show. That's the one with Lena Dunham, right? I think so. Then half of a standard deck of cards are the black suits. Here the color black, and then the TV show Suits. About lawyers, I think. Something corporate. I think it's lawyers. Anyway. And then here we have Place for Plants to Flourish is Greenhouse. Green the color, and House, the show starring Hugh Laurie, is... the show House. And then finally, fast food chain with the slogan "The crave is a powerful thing." White Castle, the restaurant, and White the color, and Castle, which I'm sort of only vaguely familiar with the show Castle. So there you have your examples of color TV. And otherwise, I think pretty heavy on trivia, not so much on the wordplay today. Yeah, pretty much everything in here is either like actual trivia like Ang Lee, or just words for things like perfectly behaved child. Not a lot of real wordplay. I mean, this kind of comes close, not misdirecting in any way, but certainly you need to be able to play around with words to be able to get it. This sort of some newspaper pieces that aren't news, I guess. Slog, say, but see, none of these things are really misdirecting in any way. They're just playing around with words in other ways. Even throws in the towel. Yeah, all of these. In fact, I'm not sure that this would come the closest because non-real is just not a word. They're just called imaginary numbers. They are as opposed to the set of real numbers. I mean, those two sets are distinct sets, and so you could call imaginary numbers non-real. And who knows? Maybe since the last time I took math 20 odd years ago, the term non-real has come into popular use, but I don't think so. Not that I know of. I didn't even look at this one. The Queens ball player is a New York Met. The Mets play in Queens as opposed to the Yankees. Where do the Yankees play? I actually don't know where Yankee Stadium is. Should know that. I'll look it up. Yeah, no, nothing. I don't think there was any real wordplay in this whole puzzle, which is quite striking. I mean, there's nothing bad about that necessarily, but unusual for sure. Anyway, that is our puzzle for Tuesday, November 4th, and good debut by Patrick Hayden. Full of lots of great cluing and a really fun theme too. So that's that for today. If you like this solve, please hit that thumbs up. If you want to know when I'm posting next, hit the subscribe button and get your notifications. But otherwise, we'll see you the next time. Thanks for joining me here on Crosshatch Puzzles, and take care. Cheers.